This show is produced by the Hartman Media Company. For more information and links to all our great podcasts, visit hartmanmedia.com.
Hey, Jason, this is Scott Crook. I was on the Empowered Investor Zoom call last night and just so thankful for the value that's created inside that group. And, you just consistently bring subjects that are so important and relevant to what I'm needing and I believe other investors need. So thank you so much. I appreciate you and all that you've done for helping us become better investors. Thanks, man.
Welcome to the Creating Wealth Show with Jason Hartman. You're about to learn a new slant on investing, some exciting techniques, and fresh new approaches to the world's most historically proven asset class that will enable you to create more wealth and freedom than you ever thought possible. Jason is a genuine self-made multimillionaire who's actually been there and done it. He's a successful investor, lender, developer, and entrepreneur who's owned properties in 11 states, had hundreds of tenants, and been involved in thousands of real estate transactions. This program will help you follow in Jason's footsteps on the road to your financial independence day. You really can do it. And now, here's your host, Jason Hartman, with the complete solution for real estate investors.
Greetings, empowered investors, and welcome to episode 2291. Today, I have a very special, gritty show for you, because I am talking with Kimberly, who is my Aunt Joan's property manager. Now, maybe some of you have met my Aunt Joanie. She has lots of properties, a big portfolio, and I was privileged to grow up seeing her manage them and see Kimberly manage them for the last 26 years, right?
Yes, that's right.
Fantastic. So we're going to get some inside scoop on self-management. Okay, we're going to talk about some tricks of the trade. We are doing the real in-person thing here. You can see we are in the property management office, and we're coming to you from Sacramento. By the way, if you didn't do it yet, be sure to get your tickets for Empowered Investor Live. And, while we're at it, before we get into the topic, let me just make a couple of housekeeping announcements for Empowered Investor Live. We start Friday at 1 p.m. sharp. Registration, be down there by 12:30, no later than 12:30. In the hotel registration area. That will become very apparent because there'll be signs all over the beautiful hotel where we are in Irvine, California. And we will see you Friday. And the rest of the schedule, we start Friday at 1 p.m. We go to about 6 p.m. Then we have a dinner break. We have a cocktail party that night. You're going to get to meet almost all of our great speakers on Friday. And then Saturday, we start at 8:30 a.m. if you're a VIP ticket holder, 8 a.m. for breakfast in the green room with the speakers on Saturday morning. And then Saturday, we go to about 6 p.m. and VIP ticket holders will have lunch in the green room as well. The rest of you, we've arranged a nice lunch in the hotel restaurant if you want to take advantage of that. And we'll go to about 6 p.m. on Saturday. And then Saturday evening, we will have a wonderful cocktail party with food and everything. So your dinner will be taken care of Saturday night, and cocktails and networking. It's going to be a really, really fun time in a beautiful atmosphere. Sunday morning, we start again at 8:30 a.m. for the conference, but VIPs in the green room for breakfast at 8 a.m. And then we will go to about 6 p.m. on Sunday evening. It's going to be an awesome weekend. We look forward to seeing you at Empowered Investor Live. We still have tickets available at empoweredinvestorlive.com. Kimberly, thank you so much for agreeing to do this. I know I had to twist your arm. So, this is what I do. I just put people on the spot and I say, hey, you got to come on the show right now. So thank you for cooperating with that. Sure. So property management, you've been working for my Aunt Joanie for 26 years.
Yes.
Did you do property management before that?
No.
Yep. That was the start.
Yeah.
And isn't it fun?
It is fun.
Yeah.
She gave me a career. I never knew what I wanted to be.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, fantastic.
So, yeah, I enjoy it.
Good stuff. And then besides Joanie's properties, you have a bunch of properties on your side business as well.
Yes, I do.
And so you're managing about 100 properties,
Yes.
right? Yeah,
Yes.
Fantastic.
It's a lot.
Tell us some of the tricks of the trade, and let's kind of maybe go in order of the process, right?
Okay.
So the first thing is finding a tenant.
Yes.
You're advertising online and so forth. What do you guys do to procure tenants? What are your best practices there?
Most of the time we start showing the property before the tenants move out, depending on what the house looks like.
Okay.
And as you know, we collect as many applications as possible. We run credit reports, call references. I collect pay stubs, of course, and go through the process of the application. And once they're approved, we sit down, sign a lease. Our lease is pretty extensive.
Yeah. And I know you have some house rules on your lease too, right?
Definitely have which I have on my own business as well. It's a good practice. A lot of people that have never lived in a house before, you know, they really don't know how to take care of a house.
If they're from an apartment normally,
Sure.
right?
Yeah. So having those house rules, we go over them with the tenant. We don't just hand it to them.
Right.
So we kind of go over how to take care of the house.
Good stuff.
Yeah, it helps a lot.
So Kimberly, one of the really interesting things that you said to me is that you show the properties before they're vacant.
Yes.
Almost nobody does that. How do you do that? I mean, you've probably got it in the lease, I'm guessing, that the tenant has to cooperate with showings.
It's definitely in.
And you don't show it if the house looks really bad, right?
We've had a few instances where probably wouldn't have been a good idea to show the house.
Right.
And we make sure to tell the tenant when we do have a tenant living in a house and we are showing it, we only take in one set of people at a time through the house. We don't just take a bunch of people in. They have to stay with us throughout the tour of the house. No one can go walking in other rooms by themselves. So, you know, we try to make them feel at ease when we are there showing it.
The tenants,
yes,
the existing tenants.
Current tenants.
And for those existing tenants or current tenants, do you have to kind of buy their cooperation anyway? In the past, I've given them like a little discount on the rent, you know, $150 off that last month or something to enlist their cooperation, but you don't do.
No, we don't offer anything like that, but I do try to make them feel okay about us going through the house,
right?
That no one's going to be looking in their private things. Yeah, no.
Good stuff. So you show the house before it's vacant. That's fantastic. So the tenant gives you notice, and they've probably given you a 30 days notice, I'm assuming.
30 to 45 days, yeah.
30 to 45. And then right away, do you put the property on the market?
Well, we give ourselves 45 days to rent a house. So, yeah. And as long as the house looks nice and we've got it priced right, of course, we usually will rent it within a week to 2 weeks.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. Any hot tips on getting people excited about the house, the ad copy, the pictures, any of this marketing?
Well, the pictures are huge.
Yeah.
You know, we have a really good cameraman. And he takes really, really nice pictures, some with furniture. You know, if a house looks really nice, we go over and a tenant's house looks really nicely furnished. We'll have him go over and we'll get permission and take pictures.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Any kind of special terms or incentives in the copy when you're writing the copy for the house?
Our internet guy does that. And I think the more information they have online, the better.
Right.
You don't have any surprises.
Yeah. In some ways, it kind of the tenants disqualify themselves too, which is actually good because you're just dealing with fewer people.
Well, we kind of run through about 5 questions before we even make an appointment to show the house.
Oh, great. What are those?
We pre-qualify them.
Tell us about pre-qualifying.
So we ask who's going to be living in the house. We ask them if all adults have good credit, good references, make sure their income is going to be sufficient. We ask if anyone smokes, and we ask about any animals.
Okay, great. Do you allow animals?
I do say animals. I never say pet anymore.
Oh, okay. Tell us the difference there.
The ESA dogs and the service dogs, they typically call them animals. They don't refer to them as pets.
Right.
So if you ask somebody if they have a pet and they have a service animal, they'll say no.
Oh,
and then next you find out after they've moved in that they have an animal.
Right.
So I've learned to say animal.
Okay. Oh, that's good. That's a good distinction. Thank you. Yeah. And they might have some weird animals. People have some exotic animals sometimes. Do you charge pet rent?
We do.
Okay. And how much is that?
Anywhere from 25 to 100 a month. Yeah.
Oh, for one pet, 100 a month? Wow, that's great. I love it.
Yeah.
Wow. And what makes the difference in the amount?
I guess the breed, the size.
For a dog.
Yeah. Typically now it's $50 to $100.
Wow, that's pretty good. But you are in a more expensive market. Like, what's your average rent?
Well, for 2-bedroom, 1-bath could be starting at maybe 22,
2,200,
going up to 3,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then 3-bedroom houses?
3 bedrooms, you're going to get up into the 3,000.
Okay. And all of your product is single family detached,
Yes.
right? Yeah. Okay.
Well, we have some duplexes.
Right. Okay.
But other than that, single family.
Yeah. Good stuff. Okay. So qualifying questions. Anything more on that?
I have a good gut feeling about people. So I kind of go with my gut a lot.
Right.
Talking with them, getting together with them and showing them the house, walking through the house. If they're nitpicking everything, do I want to deal with somebody that's high maintenance?
Right. Yeah.
And
there might be two sides to that, right? If they're
Yes.
picky and high maintenance, they might keep the home better.
That's true.
That's
true.
But also they're going to be a
They're
little more
gonna
difficult.
change a light bulb.
Right.
But, I'm
Yeah.
going to do that.
Exactly. Well, actually, that's a good point. Well, before we get to that, your house rules and things like that, I want to go over that for sure in your lease document. Have you ever wondered how the top real estate investors consistently find the best deals before anybody else? Well, listen up, because this can transform how you invest. I'm excited to share something that's revolutionizing the real estate game. It's called Connected Investors. This is a really cool platform that gives you access to all of the property records nationwide. Truly amazing. It's not just a platform, though. It's a secret weapon. It does a whole bunch of things. Besides the property data, it's a social network as well. It's built by successful real estate investors for real estate investors. Find off-market deals instantly, access accurate ownership contact info, make smart data-driven decisions, and secure funding for your deals from a vast network of private and hard money lenders. Whether you're a beginner or a pro, Connected Investors is your go-to tool for smarter, faster, and more efficient investing. Try a 7-day free trial at jasonhartman.com/connected. Again, that's jasonhartman.com/connected. And let us know how much you love this software. You said good credit. Some landlords kind of counterintuitively really don't favor tenants with great credit. They want tenants that are a little bit lesser than good credit because they're probably not likely to move and buy a house right away. I know that's kind of counterintuitive for some, but what are your credit score requirements?
Well, anything over 700 is a good score.
Yeah, that's a great score.
Yeah.
But will you
Really,
take people in the low sixes? Or
what we don't want to see is collections, a lot of late payments. You could pretty much tell on their credit report if they're consistently late paying certain bills.
Yeah.
So do we want to wait for the rent? No.
Right. Okay. And how do you handle late payments and late fees and stuff like that, and then eventual evictions if you have to?
Our rent is due on the 3rd. Well, due on the 1st. Right. It's late after the 3rd.
Okay.
Most people give them till the 5th. We give them till the 3rd. If they pay on the 4th, it's $50 late fee.
Okay.
If they pay on the 5th, add another $10 a day until it's paid.
Okay.
So
got it.
Yeah.
And how often do you have to do evictions?
I've never done an eviction.
Really? In 26 years? Oh, that's a miracle. I mean, actually, I would say the same thing. I had my very first property, I had an eviction when I was 20 years old. Okay, on my first property. But then I went probably 2 decades without an actual eviction. But I did have one recently. Actually, I had to do. But But so why? What do you credit that to?
I won't say so. It's
you certainly have late people. You get
come
close,
very
right?
Yeah. But we were able to get them out of the house without going through the courts.
Okay. Yeah. And what do you do? Did you give them something to get them out, or did they just finally agree?
I've done the cash for keys.
Okay. Yeah.
Kind of deal, but I've never gone through court. No.
Yeah. Okay. And then what about condition and walkthrough? Post move out.
My walkthroughs, we have a very good cleaner, and our house is completely clean. We clean everything. I have never handed over a dirty house.
Okay.
And that's the way I expect to get it back.
Yeah.
Probably about 90% of our tenants will allow us to use our own cleaners, and then we deduct from their deposit.
Right. Okay.
Out cleaning is a lot different than just regular house cleaning.
Right. That's like a deep cleaning.
Exactly.
And what does that run here? About $350?
It can be $350 to up to $400, $450.
Yeah. Okay. Good to know. So the tenants in the property now, you've screened them, and what will you allow? I mean, do you have the unlawful detainer report so if they had a prior eviction? Would you let that person rent, or would you just say no way?
we would say no way.
Yeah, right. Okay. And then deposit practices?
Well,
okay.
We used to collect 1.5 times the monthly rent for a deposit.
Okay.
New California laws have gone into effect, and now we can only charge the amount of the rent.
Right. So 1 month is the actual law.
Yes.
California is tough. This is a very landlord unfriendly market.
It is. They favor the tenants.
Yeah. Right. Most of our clients are not in markets that are landlord unfriendly. They're in the landlord friendly markets. But, back in the old days when Aunt Joanie started investing, the idea was you'd invest near your home. But nowadays people do it all over the place.
Right.
But, any tips for dealing with those landlord unfriendly regulatory environments?
Well, on my little side business, Joanie only takes care of her own properties.
Right.
Now I'm doing it on my own.
Yep.
And so I do have clients from all over.
Mm-hmm.
And
so you have out-of-state clients that are not in this market. Okay, got it.
Right. And I have to explain to them, the California new laws.
Right.
I've had a lot of clients, old-time clients, that sold their properties because they didn't want to deal with the California laws.
Yeah.
Like I said, they favor the tenant.
Right.
And what you used to be able to charge for a deposit.
Or rent increases or notice.
Leave,
Yeah.
You can't do those things anymore.
Yeah.
You can't just say, I want to remodel my house, so I'm going to
kick you out.
Give this tenant 30-day notice, or, can't do that anymore.
Yeah. And when you're speaking of that, you mean in a period when they don't have a lease, right? Of course you can't kick them out when there's a lease.
They're there a year.
Yeah, right.
You cannot, you can't evict them just because you want to remodel your house.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. So do you see how that anti-capitalist socialist environment keeps people from fixing up houses? And then it makes the economy smaller because contractors don't have work that they would otherwise have, right?
True.
Yeah, it's just amazing. It really is.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about your lease document and your house rules. My Aunt Joanie has a whole list, and she talked about this at prior Empowered Investor Live events, where she has these couple pages of house rules that are attached to the lease.
4 pages.
4 pages. Okay, not a couple, 4. Yeah. Tell us about those.
They're all common sense. And you'd be surprised at who doesn't have common sense.
Right.
Some people just don't understand how to take care of a home.
Right. Do you get a lot of people that are moving from apartments to homes? And so the service level is different. Like in apartments, they're sort of coddling you a bit, right?
Right.
I remember an apartment I rented, they would change light bulbs, believe it or not. Yeah, really. Yeah, so everything. Yeah. So here you sort of impart to them that there's more of a homeowner almost responsibility level.
Yeah. All of our houses have original hardwood floors. If they've never lived in a house like that or taken care of a house like that, they don't know how to take care of the hardwood floors.
Yeah.
You can only refinish them so many times, and
right.
You're down to the nails. So we go over how to take care of those, putting pads under their furniture, things like that. What not to put down a garbage disposal, brush off the food before you put it in a dishwasher, all these things that we would have to call in someone to repair because they just don't know what they're doing.
Sure. Yeah. Good point. Do they have air conditioning in the houses here?
Yes, central heating.
Oh, they do. Okay. So then there's air filters.
We go over that.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's in our lease that they are to change them out every 3 to 4 months.
Okay. Oh, you're actually kind of easy. Some say every 30 days they got to change that. I mean, tenants don't do it, but one of our clients actually subscribes to air filter services and just sends those to his tenants. And, they're responsible, of course, for changing.
Well, with 60 properties, Joanie would be in the air filter business if she had to buy for every one of those. So they are responsible to buy them and install them.
Yeah. Good. Okay. So tenant gives you notice. We're just kind of moving along the process. Tenant gives you notice. It's 45 days in advance. Then you tell them you're going to start marketing and showing the property, right?
Yes.
How does that all go? Are there any kind of logistical things people should think about? Of course, the property's got to be good enough looking to show.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah. I'll usually go over and kind of do a little walkthrough beforehand. And, if it looks nice, And most of them don't mind.
Yeah.
We work with their schedule when we do the showings. If they want to be there, then we'll work with their schedule and we'll schedule showings when they're there. A lot of people don't want to be there, so they kind of give us a window of time.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, good, good. With vacant properties, are you doing the showings directly, or do you do any virtual? I'm guessing you don't do virtual showings and things like that.
No.
Yeah, okay. Do you put them in the MLS with lockboxes and all of that, or do you strictly do
We
it?
have a lockbox,
Uh-huh.
but we don't just allow people to go in without us there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, good. If you take one property, how much do you have to do over the course of a year on that one property? Do you maybe talk to the tenant, every 3 or 4 months, or communicate with them? I mean, email, talk, text, whatever it is.
With my own properties, I check in with my tenants every now and then, maybe twice a year.
Yeah.
If I'm not hearing from them.
Right.
But usually you'll hear from a tenant sooner or later within a few months.
Right.
To take care of something.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So it really doesn't involve like that much effort once the tenant's in the property, right?
No, I do once a year inspections.
Okay. So maybe a couple of communications throughout a whole year.
Right.
And then you'll do an inspection.
Yes.
Okay. And what do the inspections reveal for you? Like, what do you do when the inspection isn't positive?
Well, first of all, California new law states that we're not allowed to do inspections unless we're checking smoke alarms.
Oh
Smoke alarms are the only reason for going into a tenant's home.
It's unbelievable.
So, yeah.
So you got to bring a pack of batteries, change the batteries, check the smoke alarm, and then by virtue of that, you're getting an inspection.
I'm getting in the house,
Right, yeah.
And I'm able to kind of look around and ask if there's anything that needs to be done. Are you
Right.
having problems with something? But typically, if they don't have any problems, I will inspect the whole house.
Yeah.
Look under the sinks, make sure nothing's leaking. Check garbage disposals.
Yeah.
Pretty much just see how. things are
So
going.
you don't really rely on the tenant to tell you about the condition of the house that much then? I mean, you do, except for once a year, right? Where you're
That's just the once a year I go
Okay.
in. But other than that, I would expect them to call me if there's a problem. With our house rules, we let them know that if they see any water intrusion or if there's any kind of problems, they need to contact us immediately.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay, good. So back to anything I didn't ask you, anything you want people to know about real estate investing or property management in particular?
In California, if I were an investor, I would only buy single family
Why is that?
because multifamily properties have the Tenant Protection Act.
Oh, okay. So even if it's a duplex or a triplex, fourplex? Wow. Tell us about that.
If the owner is not living in one of the units, then it is tenant protection.
And what is tenant protection?
That means that they have a no eviction, just cause law. Unless they aren't paying their rent, you can't kick them out.
So in other words, if they break a covenant of the lease or they're just bad tenants, they're thrashing the property, you can't kick them out.
No, you have to have just cause.
Okay.
And you have the rent. I think it's 5%. You can raise it. There's a cap on rent increases.
Right, right.
Yeah.
But that never went into effect. Look, I don't follow California. Okay. California is a mess. I hate it. Even though it's my home state where I lived most of my life. So the rent control never went into effect on any single family or?
No, unless it's owned by a corporation or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. But there still are limits on the amount of rent increases you can do when a lease ends, and you have to give very long notice too, right?
If it's a single family home and if you're increasing more than 10%, you have to give them, I think, 60 days.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Good stuff. So what do you think about real estate investing in general? Not property management. This is the gritty, this is where the rubber meets the road. It's so important. So thank you so much for sharing this with us.
No, I love the business because I love homes and I love fixing them up. Like a lot of my clients allow me to do not just repairs, but change out things,
Real improvements. Yeah.
Real improvements. I love it. I mean, I would love to buy my own investment properties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is the most historically proven asset class in the world. Yeah.
Investing in properties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Income property, the most historically proven asset class in the entire world.
Absolutely.
That's great. Yeah. Good stuff.
And your aunt can attest to that.
Yeah, she can certainly attest to that. Yeah. Absolutely. Good stuff. Well, Kimberly, thank you so much.
You're
I really
welcome.
appreciate it. And I hope that is helpful to all of you. Be sure to join us for Empowered Investor Live. Go to empoweredinvestorlive.com and we will look forward to seeing you there. Until next time, happy investing. Thank you so much for listening. Please be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss any episodes. Be sure to check out the show's specific website and our general website, hartmanmedia.com, for appropriate disclaimers and terms of service. Remember that guest opinions are their own, and if you require specific legal or tax advice or advice in any other specialized area, please consult an appropriate professional. And we also very much appreciate you reviewing the show. Please go to iTunes or Stitcher Radio or whatever platform you're using and write a review for the show. We would very much appreciate that. And be sure to make it official and subscribe so you do not miss any episodes. We look forward to seeing you on the next episode.